world order to be maintained. World powers want this great nation, the growth to be halted, be it in whatever form it be. Therefore, we have to now sit down and pen down and take hands-on what is required to be done of us. World over, people have met, nations have met. This terrorism or globalized crime, be it on whatever facets and norm and shapes, I would say is not confined only to this great nation, but world over. This problem is being faced. Therefore, like-minded, good-hearted people do meet. Conventions are there, United Nations conventions are there, international treaties are there. Fortunately, India has had 49 such treaties with various countries of the world. But today, judicial officers, including myself, I pose this question: is it enough that this gentleman brigadier who's sitting there has done enough to serve this nation? Is it enough that the members of the CBI who are here have done enough to serve this nation? When I look at the judicial records, I find the NJD, NJDG data shows that each day crime specific to globalized terrorism is increasing, and is also the pendency is increasing. Therefore, it should be our concerted effort and endeavor to ensure that all cases of such nature are fast-tracked, so that the message goes world over that if the prosecutor has erred, if the investigator has erred, he can improve himself. If we have erred, then we should improve ourselves. And if some new laws are required to be brought in, then the legislator is here. If there's a procedure lap, then the legislator can take care of it. But nonetheless, all of us, being stakeholders in this development of this great nation, must sit together and as judicial officers ensure that all such cases are fast-tracked and decided expeditiously. I would also take this opportunity of requesting each one of the judicial officers to understand the importance, the need, and the significance of our ICJS project set up by the Government of India. In that, of course, what needs to be ensured is that the complete infrastructure, right from the investigator to the prosecutor to the judge, is in place, so that with one click of button, the information is available and we are able to take forward the challenges which I have just highlighted. I'm sure with the day-long deliberations, one would find results, solutions, and this problem which Chief Justice said is more so in Northeast. I think it is pan-India. We cannot forget what happened in Bombay. We cannot forget what I've told you and what has happened in Simla. And we cannot forget what had happened in Chennai. I'm sure today's deliberations would go a long way, and I'm sure, Chief Justice Sapresh, that you would share all this with your colleagues throughout the country, and we'll have such like conferences again, meetings again. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Lordship, for your inspiring words. I would now sincerely invite the Chief Guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Aniruddha Bose, Judge, Supreme Court of India, to kindly present the keynote address. My Lord.
Okay, dignitaries on the dais, Chief Minister of the State, Professor Dr. Manik Shah, my colleague, Justice Karol, Chief Justice Aparaj Singh on the dais, and Chief Justice Samadhar off the dais. Then other honorable judges who are present, as well as learned prosecutors, law enforcement officers, and senior bureaucrats. Good morning to you all. This is a unique opportunity because seldom there is a meeting like this between the Qazi and the Kotwal. What we want to learn from a meeting like this? Because normally the law enforcement agencies are aside before us, the judges, in a litigation. Now here we are interacting. But this has a very strong positive side. In various judicial academies where I have been, after the program on the dinner table or lunch table, particularly in relation to NDPS, my junior colleagues, magistrates, they ask why what to do when all the independent witnesses turn hostile, why the raiding party never has an independent person at the time of search, why seldom SDO or a executive magistrate or a gazetted officer is not brought. These are the questions which arise in our mind. And I can anticipate the question which may arise in the minds of the law enforcement agencies, that when broad daylight, when we detain somebody, how does he get a bail? Or how does the judge or the magistrate eventually acquit him? But I'm sure if we introspect, we can find answer to these. But the legal issues on the subjects which are being discussed today are going beyond simply proving and disproving of facts. And Agartala is, I'd call it a natural venue for having a conference of this nature, discussing with international crimes, because if I am not mistaken or misinstructed, every district of Tripura has an international border. Is that right? No. I don't think any other state of India can say being so uniquely located. Crimes have become international now. Narcotics, human trafficking, arms trading have all cross-country operations. Improved physical and virtual communication, cryptocurrencies as a mode of payment, and use of cyber money highway are all altering the landscape of crime. Now what we learn in our IPC, CRPC, Evidence Act, Evidence Act has been changed substantially, are not sufficient to understand how these offenses are committed and how these offenses are required to be proved. And a criminal always has an advantage over law enforcement agencies because they commit the crime first. And then the law enforcement agencies will have to devise ways to legally prove the crime. And then third stage comes the judiciary, who will assess the respective evidence and decide as to whether an offense has been proved or not. But the syndicates are becoming very big. Recently I read that some of the narco syndicates of Latin America, they have their own submarine to transport cross Atlantic the contraband products. We as judges deal with crimes on a case-to-case basis. But each type of offense has a perspective or a background. It is necessary for us to understand this background for proper appreciation of evidence. As I said earlier, textbook does not give us enough guidance. As the law enforcement agencies are actually in the first point of contact or a first phase of contact with a crime, at least I would be a keen listener of their version about crime detection in 2023 or 2020 onwards. It's a large gathering, but what I'll request, the discussion here, we follow what is known as Chatham House rules. That what we discuss inside will not go out about who said this and who asked that and who answered that. Because making everything public does not necessarily add to transparency or frank and free discussion. Sometimes, if we have qualified public disclosure of what goes on in a particular seminar like this, then the discussion can be actually frank and free. I wouldn't take further time. I thank the organizers and particularly the Chief Minister for organizing a program like this here, and of course Chief Justice Singh. Thank you.
Thank you, Lordship, for sharing the wealth of your experience with each one of us. It is now my solemn duty to request the Honorable Chief Minister of Tripura, Professor Dr. Manik Shah, to kindly present the ceremonial address. Sir.
Good morning to all of you. Today, seminar on cross-border, organized crimes, NDPS, human trafficking, and terror finding, etc., etc., and impact assessment and legal solutions, which is being held at Auditorium of Tripura Judicial Academy, Noshingar, Agartala. On dais, Mr. Justice Aniruddha Bose, Honorable Supreme Court Judge of India, who had just now delivered his speech, Mr. Sanjay Karol, Judge, Honorable Supreme Court of India, Mr. Justice Aparesh Kumar Singh, Chief Justice, High Court of Tripura, Mr. Justice Vishwanath Shamadar, Chief Justice, High Court of Sikkim, Mr. Justice Urindam Lodh, High Court of Tripura, Mr. Justice T. Amarnath Gaur, Judge, High Court of Tripura, and Sri Siddhartha Shankar De, Advocate General of High Court of Tripura, and of dais, judges from across the country, and Chief Justice Secretary, Director General of Police, and other eminent personalities, judicial officers, students from law college and universities, ladies and gentlemen, and journalists from media houses. I'm extremely delighted to be present here in this wonderful seminar, which is the first of its kind in this state. For this, I convey my special thanks to Mr. Justice Aparesh Kumar Singh, the Chief Justice, High Court of Tripura. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that drug abuse and its menace have become major social concern, not only in our country, but all over the world. Our small state of Tripura is also no exception. The problem poses alarming since we are surrounded on three sides by international border with Bangladesh. The international drug traffickers are able to easily use this border as their safe corridor for various reasons. To the younger generation, my message, which once our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji shared in a program called Campaign for Drug-Free India, organized by the Art of Living Foundation in February 2019, is that drug is not cool. It is a big misconception that drugs are a style statement. Illicit drug trafficking and abuse is a serious concern since it poses significant health challenges besides ruining the future of young generation. The younger generation is easily vulnerable to the menace, being easily lured to drugs, be it for excitement, curiosity, or drug-related risk behavior or other social problem. The introduction of synthetic drugs and intravenous drugs use leading to HIV, AIDS has added a new dimension to the issue of drug abuse. Narcotic trade is also a great threat to the society and safety and security of the country. It is one of the biggest source of income for the terrorist and anti-national elements. Such black money is used by the terrorists for procuring weapons used in their terror activities. In our state, after the change of guard in 2018, we have declared zero tolerance to drug trafficking with a view to make the state drug-free. Our government is also working in this direction with firm and resolute manner. This is evident from the fact that since 2018, hundreds and thousands of cases under NDPS Act have been registered by the state police and hundreds of accused persons have been arrested and investigated against. Here, I may share with you some statistics during the period. According to Narcotic Control Bureau, Tripura ranks among the highest states in India in the seizure and destruction of narcotic items. Number of FIR registered in NDPS case from 2020 to June 2023, 1,509. Number of charge sheet filed by the police in NDPS cases, 1,143. Number of accused arrested in NDPS cases, 2,131. Number of NDPS cases pending in investigation stage, about 331. Quantity of gaja, that is cannabis, seized during this period, 1,622 quintals. Quantity of seized cough syrup, including fencidil, 8,02,088 bottles. There is a substantial increase in the cases against Rohingya in Bangladesh in 2023. So far, this human trafficking is concerned. And continuous, these coordinated efforts are being taken by the police, BSF, railways to nab the illegal Bangladesh nationals and Rohingyas. Special investigation team has been established to find any links of human trafficking, as all illegal Bangladesh nationals and Rohingyas travel to other cities and states of India. Number of EVA tablets also we have seized, 23,78,919. Quantity of heroin seized, 27,613 kg. Corresponding to the said period between 2022 June 2023, the number of special NDPS cases disposed of in the courts across the state is about 428, and only in 38 such cases, accused persons have been convicted. Thus, the rate of conviction is not up to the desired level. Therefore, it should be our collective responsibility for all stakeholders to strive against the menace of drug trafficking so as to eradicate this menace from our state. Otherwise, we will fail to stop this menace. However, the problem of human trafficking is not alarming in our state, already I have mentioned, as it is seen from the reported cases. The number of human trafficking cases registered during 2022 to June 23, already I have said here about it. And regarding prosecution of human traffickers in itself is not sufficient to contain the great socio-legal problem. Prevention is a great tool for this. Also, victim-oriented approach is paramount in delivering care to a victim of human trafficking. The judiciary also has a great role to play in curbing this menace of drug trafficking, drug abuse, as well as trafficking in human beings. Even though thousands of cases may be registered and investigated under NDPS Act, but unless strict view in regard to bail is taken and conviction rate is increased, we may not be able to eradicate this problem from its roots. So I urge upon the judiciary to take a holistic approach and strict view in bail matters, keeping in mind the stringent provisions of NDPS Act, so that ultimately we can head towards making our state and society drug-free. Of course, the police has to investigate such cases, properly keeping in mind that technicalities involved in this law. For this, training of state police officers is being undertaken from time to time. I have conveyed my message clearly to the police department that anyone involved with a drug trafficking shall not be spared, irrespective of consideration to his or her color, creed, social status, and political affiliation and connection. However, much needs to be done with the active involvement of the entire civil society. Otherwise, my government machinery alone cannot whip out the grave menace. So, the citizens should be aware about the hazards of drug abuse, and they should come forward to help law enforcement agencies and to share any information about any culprit involved in drug peddling and smuggling in their respective locality. There should be preventive education programs and reintegration of the addicts and mainstream society. The law enforcement agencies should be sensitized to the needs of victims of substance abuse to enable them to be rehabilitated and reintegrated into the mainstream society. I am also mindful of the fact that there is a large number of students from law colleges, university attending this seminar. I am sure they will be enriched and enlightened from the deliberation in this program. I would also like to appeal to all the law students here to make other youth in their neighborhood by taking up awareness program about the huge impact and health hazards involved in drug abuse, which also ruins one's families completely. Also, the legal services authority and committees in the state can play a great role to make awareness amongst the citizens of the issue of great impact of drug abuse and human trafficking, and also about the tool to prevent this menace. I call upon all stakeholders to strive to address the problems in a holistic approach and sensitive manner. Let us each contribute to prevent and reduce the damage caused by the abuse of drugs so that we can move further ahead towards a healthier and happier society in the country. I, on behalf of the state government, assure the Honorable High Court of Tripura and the state judiciary that my government would extend all necessary assistance and cooperation towards making available proper infrastructure as well as funds required for running an efficient administration to justice in the state. I wish this seminar, which is comprised of technical sessions also, shall be a grand successful one. I again congratulate all the participants and convey my sincere thanks and appreciation to the Honorable Chief Justice of Tripura High Court for taking the pain in organizing such a wonderful program and for inviting me to be here. I also commend the efforts of the Tripura Judicial Academy and the Tripura High Court in organizing the today's program and wish them all a good success in their endeavors with a great hope that in future many such seminars and conferences shall be successfully organized. Jai Hind. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir, for your ceremonial address. We reiterate our thankfulness for your kind presence with us this morning. We are almost at the concluding stages of this inaugural session. It is now my proud privilege to invite Honorable Justice A. Lodh, Judge High Court of Tripura, and Judge in Charge, Judicial Education and Training,